are you?
I'm great.
Welcome back. You went down to McAllen, Texas.
Yep.
And I was very glad you weren't the only one who went, but I had a lot of respect for people who went down there to actually see what it was like on the ground. What was your biggest takeaway from what we had been told about a place like McAllen, Texas, and what it was like actually being there?
You know, the two biggest ones, the first is that this idea that this is chaos and they're being overrun is preposterous. I mean, people were just like, what are you even talking about down there? It's like, this is life. Yeah, we live in McAllen. Reynosa, Mexico's across the border. And, you know, people come in, they go back for years and decades, and actually centuries in American life, right? This has been a part of the country where people move back and forth across that river. The idea that there is some crazy invasion happening was just entirely preposterous and absent from everyone I talked to there. Mm-hmm. So that was the first thing. The second thing was just the level of both courage and desperation by the people showing up at that border. I mean, the stories you hear, the cartels come and they tried to recruit my oldest son and he said no and they shot and killed him. So now I have my youngest son and I took him on a 2,000-mile journey to come up here, to come to your door, America, and be like, please take me in because I don't want to give the cartels my only other living son. Those are the kinds of stories you're hearing when you're watching the president and other people and his allies talk about these people like they're vermin who's infesting the country. You're talking about literally some of the most courageous people in the hemisphere.
It is, I mean, that's why I'm so happy that people went down. Melania Trump also went down there, to her credit, to go down. With that said, Donald Trump, he went to Duluth, Minnesota.
You're just going to move right past the jacket.
I mean, I don't even know what to make of the jacket. The jacket, the amount of did she know, did she not? I mean, I feel like it's something, you know.
She's going to get a face tattoo that says, I hate all of you.
Yeah.
And everyone's going to be like, oh, what does it mean? I don't know.
She's like a magic 8-ball that doesn't have a dye in it. So you just shake it, and it's just black water. So that, I mean, I'm like, I guess we could keep trying, but I don't think we're ever going to get an answer.
She went down there, yeah.
She went down there. Donald Trump went to Duluth, Minnesota to rage about the immigration party. The immigration problem, I should say. It
was the most perfect moment that encapsulated what this is really about. We're down in McAllen. We're talking to folks in McAllen. We're talking to a guy I talked to, had a conversation with 20 years in CBP, you know, the border protection. I talked to lawyers for migrants and people that offer them, you know, care, and they're talking about what the situation. Meanwhile, he flies north to Duluth, and in a huge stadium of folks all keyed up in Duluth is talking about the scourge at the border. And we're down the border like, what are you talking about? Yeah. But that's the whole point. He did this on the campaign. You know, he would go to Kenosha or he'd go to somewhere in Ohio and talk about the border, and people would be chanting, like, going nuts about it, because it's not actually the border, right? It's this idea of invasion. It's this idea of the country's changing in ways they don't like. The border is a convenient metaphor for that anxiety.
Obviously, immigration has been framed as a problem for a really long time. Is it safe to say that the real issue is that there are certain people that don't see it as an immigration problem, but as a diversity problem?
More than that, an existential problem about what the country is. I mean, Stephen Miller is very clear about this. Stephen King, the Iowa congressman who tweeted literal Nazi propaganda a week ago, these are people that really think that the nature of the country existentially, America won't be America if it changes too much demographically. And they see themselves as guarding against that eventuality, and they're very clear about that. And that's why it's very hard to come to compromise with these people about legislation. So even when you go and you say, we're going to put money into border security, which we've done every year, border security numbers are through the roof. We're going to have more people patrolling the border, which we've done every year, there's more people patrolling the border. They say, okay, now let's strike a deal. And they say, no, we don't want a deal. Because what we want to do is change the demographic tide of this country to preserve the white majority we have now.